everybody and happy Monday. My name is Kim and this is my channel Bookmarks and Breadsticks. If you're new to the channel, a special hello to you, and for those who are returning, nice to see you again. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe below so you can always stay up to date on my latest food book adventures. As a reminder, food books are not cookbooks, and food writing tends to span anywhere from food history, food memoirs by your favorite chefs, and food world and travel. Think of people like Anthony Bourdain, who have traveled and tasted all over the world. So today I am here with my June roundup. So June was a pretty good month for me for reading books. I try to average 5 a month, and June I had a lot of free time. I was between jobs. I'm starting my new job next week. So this is kind of like my last week of summer vacation. So I launched my channel in the end of May, but spent a lot of the month of June really learning the ropes of the BookTube community, getting to know people, trying some new tags, and of course, just having a lot of downtime for reading. So for the month of June, I actually read 8 books, which is pretty big for me. I read 7 last month, which I'll link above. So my first book is Consider the Fork by B. Wilson. So this book is all about the history of how we cook and how we eat. So Wilson goes through the history of humanity essentially, and how utensils such as the knife, the fork, the spoon all have influenced the way we eat, but also other modern introductions like the role of ice, which led to refrigeration. Wilson also goes into other parts of the world about how we cook with things like how heat and fire revolutionized the way man lived, but also how the introduction of ice, which led to refrigeration, also changed the way we eat. So the next book on my list was Copper, Iron, and Clay. And this is another book that's focusing on that world of cutlery. This is A Smith's Journey by Sarah Dahmen, and these 2 books will be coming up together in an upcoming video. So Copper, Iron, and Clay is a little bit more of I thought was going to be a coffee table book, but it's actually quite detailed in the importance of copper, iron, and clay and how they're used in our cooking materials. Copper, you think of copper iron pots. In iron, stainless steel, what iron did for us, and also clay, when you think of ceramic clay or clay pottery. And each of these within the book has a lot of history, but Sarah does a great job of weaving this into her own life and her own experiences as an amateur smith. And there are some very beautiful pictures that go in the book as well. So I'll have these 2 together in an upcoming video. The next book on my list I just finished over the weekend. This is a memoir, Wine Girl by Victoria James. So Wine Girl is the obstacles, humiliations, and triumphs of America's youngest sommelier. So sommeliers are wine experts. They are in the front of the house and they are in charge of selling wine. Margins in restaurants are very, very slim, and the most money that goes directly back to the restaurant is actually made by the wine or beverages that are sold. So Victoria, her book spans everything from early childhood, ages 5, all the way up to about ages 30, which is about her current age right now. And it really shows how her childhood, which was not great, actually really influenced her hustle, her grit, and her upbringing that really led her to becoming a sommelier at such a young age. But throughout the book, as she achieves more, she also begins to realize that achievement is not the best form of validation. It was an amazing read. I ran through it so quickly. I will feature it hopefully in an upcoming video where I can combine a couple of books about maybe the history of wine or other memoirs from other sommeliers. But really loved this book. One of my favorite of the entire year. A solid 5 out of 5, and I can't recommend it enough. Next book I got through was Serve It Forth by MFK Fisher. You might have seen this in my June book haul, which I will link above. So MFK Fisher is considered one of the great American classic writers when it comes to food writing, especially about American cuisine. This is her first book. I would almost call it a novella if it was fiction, but it's not. But it's about 150 pages. It's the first of many. And my goal is to read all of Fisher's books and then do one whole video together, kind of going through the bibliography of this important American writer. Next book I finished this month was the Potlikker Papers, A History of the Modern South by John T. Edge. I did do a review on this earlier this month, so I won't spend a lot of time talking about it. But again, in light of the murder of George Floyd, I made a conscientious decision to read more books by people of color, but also about the Black experience in the culinary world, and that can be in food history, and this book covers a lot of, you know, the slavery in the South, their freedom, and the world that came after. And I have other books on the docket as well, which I did mention in my haul. Remember, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter, and I will continue to link resources to the Black Lives Matters movement in all of my videos. Even if you can't donate financially, if you don't have the means, there are still tons of petitions and other ways that you can get involved. There are also nonprofits, specifically in the food space, that help deal with food scarcity or bringing fresh food to underserved communities. And these are great ways to get involved, and I'll continue to bring more information below. I'll also always include a learning and evolving list of writing from Black authors in the food space. Next book is Born Round. This is another memoir. This is Born Round by Frank Bruni. He was the New York Times food critic in the late 2000s, and this memoir will be in an upcoming video, or maybe based on scheduling when this video comes out, I will have launched this review, but it has been filmed and it will hopefully be above. If not, it'll be out shortly. Bruni's book is all about his struggles with overeating, body dysmorphia, and etc. And it goes all the way through his childhood to his success with becoming the food critic for the New York Times. But he has quite a journey to get there, both in his career, his love life, and his own self-acceptance, and finding a healthy relationship between what he loves, which is food, and his own happiness. Final book of the month is The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Gu. This is the one fiction book I read this month. Another goal just for myself is to try and read a little bit more fiction, expand myself beyond my normal bounds. This is a young adult book that focuses on a young Korean Brazilian protagonist, which is super cool. And Clara Shin finally takes it one step too far and gets in trouble, and for the summer she is punished by working on her father's food truck, the Cobra, and she was supposed to go on vacation to Tulum to visit her social media influencer mom. She was supposed to spend lazy days at the pool with her buddies. Being stuck in a sweaty Korean Brazilian food truck all day, every day, worse still, working alongside her nemesis, Rose Carter, not the carefree summer Clara imagined. I will cover this also in another upcoming review. The final book that I read this month, which I really listened to as an audiobook, is The Cooking Gene by Michael Twitty. I will be comparing it and contrasting it to the Potlikker Papers by John T. Edge. Both of them focus on food and the history of the South, but what I love about Twitty's book, as just a general summary, is that Michael Twitty is finding a way to connect to his food through his ancestors. It is one of the few ways he can identify with his history. He is a gay Jewish Black man, and it's really interesting to see his unique perspective on tracing his genealogy all the way back to those white slave owners, and even farther, the white men that forced them from their native country in Africa, or some of his relatives from Africa, to the South. It's a really touching and powerful book, and I highly recommend it. So those were my 8 books for the month of June. I'm sure that my reading will take a little bit of a hit in the month of July, since I will be starting a new job, but I am excited to get back to working because money means more books. I will also be taking a little trip from Chicago to New York by car, which means lots of driving and hopefully lots of audiobooks. So I am excited to see what I can read. But let me know, 8 books that I got through this month, did any of them grab your attention? Are any of them you think may be worth reading? Let me know in the description, in the comments below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, I will see you in the next video, and happy reading. Bye.